pumps are a great tool for working moms because they will help you remove the milk for your baby so that you're able to establish and keep to exclusive breastfeeding, especially for 6 months, and continue on to 1 year. You're not relaxing at 6 months. You continue on pumping because we encourage you to give breast milk to babies until 1 year, so that you delay introduction of cow milk or formula until age 1 if possible.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
What are the risks of cow milk? Why is it usually? Why do they try to delay it?
So cow milk is approximately 3 or 4 times heavier than breast milk in terms of mineral composition, protein composition, and so what it does, it number one, places a big load on the baby's kidneys because the baby's kidneys are still immature, so they have to work so hard to clear out the minerals in the milk. Secondly, it's been linked to iron deficiency because what it does, it goes and irritates the gut and makes it leaky, like have holes, so the minerals get lost. So instead of minerals being absorbed, they get lost. So cow milk especially is really hard, and what cows are eating now, you know, when we were young, my mother keeps arguing with me, you took cow milk, and I was like, no, it wasn't necessarily the right thing, but also cows in our days used to eat grass. So that was easier milk. Nowadays cows eat more grains, which are very, very hard we're even having more milk allergies, even among adults. You have many adults nowadays are not taking milk. When they take milk, it's really hard on them. So you can imagine on an infant.
Yeah, and I think also a lot of our milk was straight from the cow. It didn't have a lot of processing
and all that stuff.
Right now, if you're buying from the store, it's gone through a really long process.
Exactly. So if you can, and you have the breast milk, which is perfect, continue expressing. Challenge. Nowadays we always talk challenges. So all my children took breast milk until 15 months, not even 1 year.
Wow.
So I would put cornflakes and put my breast milk on the cornflakes. Nothing wrong with it.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can do it if you decide to. Yeah.
Awesome.
Such tools are useful
very
for that.
helpful, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's start with the manual breast pump.
Yes.
Maybe you could tell us about the different parts.
So what to really note is that the first thing to do is that you need to know how to assemble it because you have to clean every part separately.
Yeah.
So and sterilize. That's really important. So read your manual so that you know how to assemble it. A very important part of the pump is actually this. This is what provides the suction. So most pumps have it, and so if you lose this,
they just buy a new one.
But just buy a new pump if you didn't come with an extra one. So this is very important because it helps the suction of the pump. So you have the bottle, you have the suction pump, and then you have the top part, which is the flange, and you have this. It's usually like a silicone cover, like a cushion to the flange. We call this the flange, and this is what comes into contact with the breast. We have the silicone cover that comes to the flange. This is the part that comes into contact with the breast. As I said, you need to open up everything. So this is the part that actually works to bring in to create the suction. And you need to always remove everything because you need to clean every single part. So learn how to do that. Yeah. So we assemble our pump. So a little tip, this silicone cover, sometimes for some of our more blessed, they call them that, especially the black race, the African race, we tend to have bigger areolas. So over time we've learned that sometimes this can make you not have a very good latch on the breast. So if you use with it first, if you find like you're not feeling a very good suction, you can try and use without it. Yeah. And then yes, so our pump is ready for use. And you can even test and see if you can feel, do you feel the milk coming? Yeah, either the milk or even before you start to use it, you you can feel the tension, so to know that there's actually a vacuum. So to express milk, you need to have a good latch on the pump. So you can see our breast is there. And so as I was saying earlier, sometimes this you might not get a very good suction because depending on the areola. So I think we shall pretend we are amply blessed black women, and then so as you can see, the suction is much more. So I find people pulling, as you can see, that's really it can be painful, and it will stretch out your nipple, and you'll end up having nipple pain. So don't pull so hard. It's just a gentle movement.
So you don't have to go all the way.
No, actually you don't have to keep that. As you can see what that does, So you just, even the baby does not really pull so much. The baby just does a small suckling, So it's the same. So you start like that. As you can see the breast.
Yes, there's the
suction happening.
Okay.
So soon you'll see the milk flowing. So when you start expressing at the beginning, don't be in a hurry to start seeing milk coming. Because the pump is a slightly different movement of mechanism of removing milk. It's more of a pull. It's not like the suckling, which is a circular motion of the baby. So you kind of need to stimulate the milk first. So when you start, just start and give it time. For most women, you will start seeing milk after 2, 3, 4 minutes. So a lot of people start 1 minute, then they're like, there's nothing coming out.
And they get frustrated,
and then they stop.
That makes it worse.
Yes. So give it time, So give it, and sometimes even before you start pumping, you can massage with your hot cloth, do compressions like that, and then now start. So, and give it time. 3, 4, especially if this is your first time, it takes a while. As the breast gets used to it, it will becomes faster, the milk comes out faster. So express for around 20 minutes, that's enough. 20 minutes. And sometimes to empty the breasts more efficiently, you can pump the breast you're pumping for around 5 or so minutes. Remove, pump the other one for around 2 minutes. What are you trying? You're trying to stimulate the let down. The that thing of when you breastfeed on one,
there's some let down.
So that's what you're trying to stimulate. So pump for around 5 minutes, stop, put on the opposite breast for a few minutes, and then go back to the one that you are breastfeeding, you are pumping initially until you empty that. Then now pump the other one.
So it will stimulate more milk production.
Exactly, more milk production, more milk emptying. So what you're trying to do, you're trying to get as efficient as possible in removing the milk.
And what is the minimum amount? For example, when let's say you're pumping for about 20 minutes, what amount would you say you have sufficient milk?
That's the thing. It's very different from all of us. So we all have different milk capacities. Capacity is, some of us, it does not matter the size of the breast. Capacity is different. Capacity depends on the ducts that are actually in someone's breast. So having a big breast does not necessarily mean that that person has high capacity. So capacity means that there's a mom whose capacity is 50, 60 ml or 80 ml. So what it usually means even for that baby, it means that that baby needs to feed more often. It doesn't say that, and sometimes that's the confusion. We get discouraged because you met this mother with 120 capacity because her ducts are more. So her baby will have one sitting and fill up to last the 3 hours. Your capacity might be 80, so your baby will need to feed a bit faster than, but both of you have enough milk. Because if I have a 20-liter jerry can and another one has a 50-liter jerry can, we don't carry the same, and that's how we are. So a mom with a higher capacity will fill the bottle. I see Mom Olympics, I call them Mom Olympics, for posted. See, in 20 minutes I have 130, and this other one over here has her 50, and she's so discouraged.
She thinks that maybe
she doesn't know where you don't have enough milk. No, you do. All you need to do is you need to express a bit more, because that's your capacity. All of you will have enough milk for your baby. So once you know that that's your capacity, you don't get discouraged. You just need to. This mom will pump once a day. You might need to pump twice to get the same amount of milk. So both of you have enough milk. So it's important for moms to know that. And then initially your milk will not come out a lot. You might have 20. But the more your skill, because it's a skill, right? The more you get your skill, you notice, now I have more milk. As you go along, you're expressing more, because now you're becoming more skillful in knowing how to remove milk. So don't get discouraged if you get 20 ml the first day. Keep at it. As you go along, you'll be getting enough for your baby.
I think that's very useful information to have. I think even mothers should be told that the moment they even leave the hospital, as in just before you leave, you're told that, because even with sort of like social pressure and some people, as you said, like people are posting on social media, they have bottles and entire fridge, and you have much less. You tend to think, okay, maybe my capacity is low, let me just switch to formula. Because you're worried your baby, especially if it's the first child, you're worried your baby isn't getting enough. And then I know also relatives sometimes can put pressure on you, because they, maybe when they had their child,
they had a lot of, they were walking in milk pours. But then, for you, that's not your capacity. And it's not about even the size of the breast, it's just about the ducts that are actually mature, and the ducts capability of holding milk. Because as you said, it's a factory. So the capacity of a factory depends on the machines that are there and whatever. So it's the same. So we are all different, we all have different capacities. Some of us might need to feed our babies more often to get them full. Doesn't mean you don't have milk. It just means your capacity is slightly different from the other person whose capacity is more.
Awesome. Now let's go to the electric. Yes. So most of the parts are very similar.
Yes, they are very similar to this other one. So the only difference is that now you're not manually expressing. We will use electricity or battery. Yes. So right there. So we usually have this to help you if you're at a station. So that goes there. We have a wire. So some people say, won't the electricity shock you? As you can see, there's no electricity near the milk. It is all, the electricity comes here and provides the suction, or the suction that the baby needs, the suction that he needs. And because of the vacuum, even this one still has the small, it's important to show this, it still has the small suction, the one that provides the vacuum. So it has that. So it's the same principle as the manual. So the electricity is not, there's nowhere the electricity is coming into contact with you.
With your body. I've heard that a lot of mothers have complained.
I didn't wear my glasses, so I can't see.
No problem. No. A lot of mothers have actually come to us and they're like, the electric one. I don't know, will I be electrocuted? Will it pump too much and then start removing blood? I've actually had mothers worry about it removing blood.
That's a good question. And we've got, as you can see, we've got plus and minus, and that depends on the strength. So it's for you to determine how much pressure that you work, how much suction is comfortable for you.
So there's the plus and minus, and it's actually already started pumping.
Yes, it's already started pumping because it provides you the suction. And so you can hold for me so that people see just how it works. So as you can see, okay, so now what we've done, we've increased the speed, but it's still comfortable for the mother. So you can go adding or increasing depending on how you feel. So it's the same principle. So some pumps you kind of have to hard press the power button to switch it on. Now you see this we call it the pulsing. We call it pulsing.
Okay, so this button.
So you see this button. We call it the pulse button, and what it does, it like stimulates the milk. Sometimes even when the baby is feeding, they start very quickly and then they slow down. So you can start off with that for like a minute or so. Then once you're done, you go back to the normal expressing. Exactly. So those are the differences in the electric and the manual.
And also for like some of the manuals like this one, it also has a battery. So for those who are worried about portability or having to find a socket or being electrocuted.
Exactly.
You can always
use a battery. And it's simple because then you can be doing something else, you know.
Oh,
while you're doing something else, because you're not having to
express
manually.
And actually, interesting, there's this bras, the nursing bras, which you can use to hold it, so you can even be a bit mobile
portable. Exactly. Yeah. So we encourage when moms are expressing, especially those ones who are at work, the working moms. If they are going to work, carry something that smells of your baby. All these things, as I say, one of the hormones is a relaxation hormone, and it's very connected to your brain. So for the mothers who are working, one of the ways to get more empty and get milk out is work on your brain. So carry a photo of your baby. We have phones, and you have your baby maybe
the photos
or a video, and just playing it to be amazed at how that makes a difference in getting you to empty more of the breast. You can carry something that smells of your baby, maybe something your baby slept on. Just that smell of your baby would really help you to stimulate. Go to a quiet place. It's time that as women we advocated for ourselves. Most people say they pump in the car or in the toilet or in the kitchen. You start advocating for yourself so that your employer provides a space for you to express the milk.
And it's actually in the Constitution right now. Every office needs to provide lactation room.
Exactly. Yeah. So it is. You have to advocate. We advocate for ourselves because that
they won't just do it. Just let me give this stuff a lactation room.
And sometimes it takes. I always tell a story of one of my clients, and when she went back to work, everyone else would express in the toilet, and she was like, "I'm not expressing in the toilet. I'm not getting my baby's food in the toilet." And so her boss had a closed office. The boss is the only one who had a closed office. So at 10 o'clock, she took her palm. She went and knocked and said, "Would you excuse me for 20 minutes for me to express milk?" And the boss was so shocked, and he just stood up and left. Okay, trust me, the next day we had a lactation room. Yeah. So sometimes, I'm not saying get fired, but you can advocate for yourself. And she politely just went and told him, "Imagine I can't pump in the toilet. So please lend me your office for 20 minutes. Politely, And it changed that office. So be brave, and because it is important for you and for your baby.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are asking, why do you need an entire room? Why can't you? What's the big deal about using a toilet? And I think it's important to think about it from your own perspective. Would you eat a sandwich? Would you eat food that's been made in the toilet? Probably it hasn't touched anything.
Yes.
But just the fact that it was made in the toilet, would you eat it?
Exactly.
And yet you're expecting someone to feed that to a child.
In the toilet. And it doesn't take a lot of space. I mean, you can have literally a room with just one chair. And moms can take turns. The moms that need to express in the office, they don't all need to sit. So it's literally a small corner of the office that is literally a few
sealed off, at least private,
and that's good enough. Yeah, so I think we can make an effort as employers to equip and help our mothers, because when a baby is well breastfed, that mother is not going to take time off because her child isn't well. That mother is a better worker because she's relaxed. She knows I have enough milk for my baby. She's not always calling home to find out, is the milk over? That's what they do. Yeah. So they're really not even working. So she'll be a more productive mother because she feels that she's well supported. Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Esther, for being here. And thank you for all the great advice. If you are looking to purchase a breast pump, we do have them in our shop, both the manual and the electric, and they are BPA free. So you could always get into our shop, and then you'll find some information there, or you could get in touch with us. If you do have any questions on breastfeeding or anything lactation, basically, do leave it in the comment section, and Esther will be there to answer. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.